Hey guys, just to start off this video, I'm just gonna say off rip that I'm a really big fan of storytelling in video games. A great story can make something that feels or looks unpolished like worth playing through, and a phenomenal game just even that much better. With that being said, the developers over at WB Games Montreal and their take on Harley Quinn has me absolutely excited on the direction they're going with in Gotham Knights. If you haven't seen it yet, on September 14th, IGN posted a special preview look at Gotham Knights in which the creative director Patrick Redding spoke about the whole creation process. He spoke about how he and his team rewrote Harley Quinn's character to better fit the narrative of Gotham Knights. It was such an amazing video to watch, but as he explained, they originally wrote Harley to be exactly how she's always been. But very late into the creation process, they actually decided to scrap it entirely. Instead, they wrote Harley to fit into a world where she was more free to become the villain that she was originally supposed to be. Almost like she's becoming a successor to the Joker in her own demented way. Like, in comics and games, we've seen her as a sidekick, a member of the Suicide Squad, and as a zany anti-hero. But to see how differently they wanted to approach the character, it's honestly just amazing. In the interview, Patrick explained further that they wanted to take her in a different direction and decided, well, what if she just never stopped being evil? They explored that idea and created a Harley who's hell-bent on causing chaos and becoming the villain for the sidekicks turned hero. And after watching it and hearing everything he had to say, it's absolutely awesome. I love every single thing about it. You know, I remember when Gotham Knights first came out and a lot of people felt underwhelmed by the gameplay, me included. It looked slow, it just didn't seem like it was going to have the same level of finesse and freedom that were offered in games like the Arkham series and Sony's Spider-Man. So, by comparison, it just wasn't going to be as fun. But over the last couple months with more previews and demos, I personally can say this game looks way better now than its initial reveal. Now with this in-depth look at Harley, I'm way more interested than I was before. Watching that interview was amazing, and I can't stress enough how much I recommend you watch it for yourself. Having a character like Harley Quinn who has relatively stayed the same within the last decade and taking her in a completely different direction is just such a cool take on the character. I can't help but just get geeky for it. So in case you didn't know, Harleen Quinzel is a criminal psychologist turned supervillain after being manipulated by and falling in love with the Joker. In media, she has only seen a couple of variations. She's either usually the sidekick to Joker who gets abused and only puts up with it out of her love for him. She's sometimes a Suicide Squad member who's starting to break free from the Joker's influence and falling in love with other characters like Deadshot. And for the last decade plus, she's been an anti-hero with a newfound love for Poison Ivy. All these have been great takes on the character. And realistically, they've done a lot with her, especially for a comic book character who was only created like 3 decades ago. But personally, I was just never really a fan of the character. In fact, besides the Injustice series, I usually just find her annoying. But just look at this. The way she speaks, the way she moves, the way that she actually looks like a threat now. They're exploring a much darker side of a character who has pretty much stayed on the side of good in the last decade. They took her classic black and red jester outfit and gave it a much more demented straight jacket look. Even looking at the initial concept sketches, Harley looks more like a villain and less like some silly obstacle the heroes just have to climb over. They even updated the hammer. Instead of just some goofy, huge mallet, it's something straight out of Dead Island. You know, just casually fighting Nightwing with an electric sledgehammer. Seeing this has me hopeful. If they can go here with Harley Quinn and spin such a unique take on her, what does that mean for the other villains? Clayface, Mr. Freeze, the Court of Owls. If the same team is working on them and showing them the same amount of thought and care, then I honestly can't wait to see what the overall story is going to be like. Now, does this automatically make Gotham Knights a day one buy? Not really. The gameplay still doesn't look that appealing to me, but if I keep seeing things like this Harley Quinn deep look, that could honestly change. A good story can carry this game through, and seeing how the gameplay does look better, it may not be as hard of a carry. They did delay the game for a year to improve it, and they've clearly been putting in the work, especially with this world building that they're doing, so it makes me excited and I really want to discover more. The game comes out on October 21st, so we still have a month, so we'll see. If you get the chance, please check out the IGN video by yourself. I'll link it in the description below. And yeah, this was just a quick video I wanted to get out because honestly, I just love that interview. So what do you think? Are you excited for Gotham Knights? Is Harley's villain arc something you're all for? Or do you kind of just don't care about the game? Let me know in the comments and take care.